Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Dawn from the Ken Frederick Podcast. Welcome to DB's Comic Talk episode 11, Marvel's Fresh Start, coming in May. Latest comic book event from Marvel Comics that they just introduced today. I figured we'd just do a quick little video about it, talk about some of my thoughts on it, since we did Marvel Legacy in the past. I'm sure none of you were too shocked that here we are again with another Marvel event. We just had Legacy, where we retitled all those numbers. We went through all the covers and all the lenticular stuff that they did. Big event, and already it looks like we're changing, which we kind of talked about this on our podcast page with Ken and Brock and Justin, that we knew for the coming of Infinity War that this was probably going to happen, that we really weren't too surprised by the time May comes around that they're going to get the books back in order with how they used to be. So they announced today with a big picture. I'm going to throw the picture up on the screen right now. This was the picture. As you see, Spider-Man right in the center. This is launching what they're calling, they haven't given an official name yet. I know they're calling it a fresh start. I don't know if there's an actual name to the event yet. But what it seems to be doing is bringing back some of their legacy characters, which, as you can see, Wolverine's in there, which he was a big part of Marvel Legacy, bringing him back. I just figured we go through the image here and look at it. Spider-Man, again, right in the middle. But Miles Morales still there on the outside. It looks like you got the regular Hulk, you got Iron Man, you have Thor with his golden arm and his golden hammer, Cap's back. You have Black Panther there, but if you look around the outer side, you still see Miles, you still see Ms. Marvel, you got Gambit, you got the original Wolverine, you have Thing in there, Punisher, Jessica Jones, looks like Luke Cage, so Venom, Captain Marvel. So it looks to me like, and Jean Grey in the middle, so, she just returned too. So it looks to me like this is the event where we're bringing everything back to its roots. They've been talking about this for a while. They want to go back to sort of the story being centered around your main big three Avengers. And obviously with the movie coming out, they want you to pick up if you're watching the movie and you're watching Infinity War and you're a kid and you're excited because you like Captain America in there and you like Black Panther and you like these characters, you don't want to pick up a book where it has Vision, Nova, characters you've never heard of. It's not, they want to align their movie universe with their comic book universe. Now, I'm not saying those other characters are bad. I'm not saying you should get rid of them, but this event to me feels exactly like DC Rebirth. You're bringing back your core members so that young readers or new readers can come in and see, okay, there's Thor, there's Hulk, there's Cap. I'm good. It looks like it does in the movies, even though they're changing some of that. But still have Captain Marvel, you have Black Panther, other big characters. You have the return of you have Thing in that picture there. I definitely feel like we're getting, if you're reading Marvel 2 and 1, you're getting to understand that the Fantastic Four are coming back, but they're obviously not going to put them in this picture, especially with the Fox and Disney deal. You see Wolverine's back. You see X-Men like Gambit in there. So I think this is pulling them all back together. You still have Deadpool. Interesting, you have Robbie Reeves' Ghost Rider in there as well, too. So it really looks like they're getting back to basics. I don't think they should throw away all their new characters, though. Those characters are important for growing your future of a universe. I didn't like when the Avengers book had Ms. Marvel and Nova and these characters right in the forefront being the main team. I don't feel they were ready to be Avengers, but you shouldn't discard them. They're good characters. Champions is a good book. Let them grow in that book. Let them grow in their own books and become these characters that are going to be the future of the Marvel Universe. But you still need your guys. It's DC Rebirth all over again is how I feel about this event. But one thing I found very interesting about it is Legacy was so big on keeping the numbering, going back to original numbering. They brought all these books back, renumbered them, made them very confusing. Now it appears from some of the articles being reported here on comicbook.com and comic book resources and Newsarama is that they're going to they're doing away with the legacy numbering in some of these books. So right off the bat, Avengers is going to be Avengers #1, which if you're a comic book collector or you own a comic book shop, how the hell you keep things organized by a volume, I have no idea, because it's got to be confusing. I stopped keeping track with my own collection. I try to keep track of what I'm on. It's impossible. It's impossible to figure out what you're on. There's so many. Then they did the renumbering. Now they're back to this again. So another Avengers #1, probably volume 8 or 9 by now. They're throwing away all that legacy numbering. They did away with that. Some of them will retain the legacy numbering, but like Venom has a new #1 coming out. They just announced a few minutes ago. It looks like Ant-Man and Wasp are going to get another #1. So Marvel loves their #1s. I would hope that this event here, they stick with it for a while, because it's getting really hard to trust a Marvel book. You read it, you know it's going to be scrapped in 10 issues. So I knew Legacy was a bunch of crap. I reviewed it on here. I didn't really like it. I like some of the fallout of it, but I didn't really like what they did. I hope that this fresh start means that they leave it alone for a while. Will they? Probably not, but it would be nice to. One of the things they talked about also today is the core book. Avengers is going to be the core book. So you're going to have one Avengers book instead of, I think they have 3 or 4 now, which I'm fine with, because in the DC side you have Justice League. You do have Justice League of America, which I think the Avengers, you could down the road do it. Uncanny Avengers, you could do West Coast. I'm fine with a couple books, but you don't need the span of the ones that they kind of grew into, U.S. Avengers and all these other ridiculous things. So the core of this book, according to IGN, which broke this article today, is going to be Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Ghost Rider, which found interesting that they popped him in there. They said they're going to tie some of these stories to the Marvel Legacy event when they did the Avengers of, like, the BC Avengers, and they had him, which I like Ghost Rider, so I'm fine with him being in there. They said that the Doctor Strange role on the team is going to be a bit of a rotating slot, which means different heroes are going to come in at different times. That's funny to me that they do that, because right now in X-Men Gold, that's kind of what they're doing. If you're reading X-Men Gold, it's a pretty good book, but they have the core team with like Kitty, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and everyone on it. But then they sort of have a rotating spot, which is different characters of the X-Men that are at the mansion seem to take that spot. So they had Ink appear in a book, they had Magma in a book this week, so they kind of have a rotating spot in. That seems to be the trend now coming up here at Marvel, and that a way the Avengers book is going to do that, and I'm okay with that, because I like the way the X-Men does it, and I would like to see the Avengers do it as well. I mean, popping in a new having someone get a chance to hang out with Cap and Thor and Hulk and the guys, it would be cool to see new characters get chances in there. That's how you build a good foundation for these characters, getting them in that experience instead of just popping them into leadership roles and right in the foreground. So it looks cool. I like this announcement. I'm excited about this announcement. Will it let me down? I hope not. I mean, looking at this picture again here, this is exactly what we've kind of been waiting for. What I've been waiting for is a return to a Marvel universe that I recognize. I mean, for so long there was just a universe that I dropped reading for so long and went over to DC for some of their books because Rebirth I felt was so good. But this looks good. It looks fresh. It looks cool. The art and the writers and the creative teams are bringing in. I'm excited about it. Interesting that Spider-Man's right out in the middle. For a character they keep acting like they're going to get rid of and replace with Miles, he's back in the forefront of the picture here. So this is interesting news. I don't know where other books like Guardians are going to end up, or some of the other team books that they have out there, but hopefully we see some new stuff and we see some new characters. But like I said before, not to keep going back to the Rebirth point, you got to have a healthy mixture of both. I feel it's what keeps your comic book universe alive. It keeps traditional fans there, but brings new fans in. So it's good to see Jean back. It's good to see Wolverine in that picture, and hopefully we get the Fantastic Four back too this year. It would be nice. So this event starts in May, right around Infinity War, so check it out. Probably going to be a lot of news coming up about it. We'll keep talking about it on here. If you haven't yet, please go over to SoundCloud. Check us out over there. There's the address on the screen. We talk about these comics and these books, and we've been doing No Surrender coverage and Dark Knight's Metal. So if you want to hear us talk about that and give us our opinion about that, go check us out on SoundCloud where we're growing. And please still check us out on YouTube with our videos that we have out there. We've been trying to give you some new stuff, some cool stuff to talk about along with our movie reviews. So please keep liking and subscribing and sharing, and we appreciate it. And hope to have some more Doomsday Clock coverage coming out here soon once more of these books come out. And we'll talk to you later. Take care.